my stem, I made the whole triangular, so it would clamp better than a
Oh,
circular.
yeah. Oh, that makes sense. Yeah. So who did you get to design your stem?
I designed it.
Well,
so
I know you designed it, but who
used
produced it?
I got a machine shop in China to make it.
Yeah.
So yeah, everyone's like, "Oh, you should add a U.S. made." Well, of course I tried that.
Yeah.
It was just priced way out. It was the cheapest quote I got from U.S., which I had several quotes, is like $2,300
For a fucking stem?
Yeah, to have a stem made. In China is $300.
Yeah. What does
So
that process look like? How long from start to finish? How many drawings did you go through? Did you falter from your original thoughts? Were you steered a certain way? No pun intended. And like, what does that process look like?
Yeah, I had several iterations of it. First I drew it on CAD, so I use a program called Fusion 360. And then I've got a friend with a 3D printer, and he printed it out for me.
That makes perfect sense.
Yeah, full size. That way I get rapid prototyping, and then I just put it on the bike to check fitment.
Yeah.
And I made changes from there, and he printed out several revisions. Like, I felt terrible bugging him so much about it, but he kept helping me.
How long does it take to 3D print a stem like that on his machine?
It was a long print. I think it was 8 hours or so.
Oh, wow.
So it was a long print.
Yeah.
So the first one I had him do the whole thing. Then the changes, I just had him print out those little sections of the stem just so I could confirm fitment on, let me see if I can pull a picture of it real quick without slowing down, because I did take a picture.
Oh, I'm sure you did.
But yeah. So then that
thing looks slow.
And then I printed
that's tit. So is this the finished product, or is this a 3D print?
That's I call it the finished product, but there's still revisions I'd like to make if we get a hold of the tariff situation anytime soon. I'd have another one made.
So what is this, like a 120, 130?
110 is a reach.
Okay.
Yeah. And then the angle is like 4.3. I just had the angle match the top tube.
The top tube, yeah.
And there's a video if you swipe right or left to get a little better idea.
God,
that
looks sexy.
For people that aren't looking at the pictures, explain what makes it custom with those measurements. Why is it a custom stem?
It's a custom stem because the head tube is a unique shape. It's kind of sunk into the frame, and then there's a bunch of angles to the frame that the stem matches up to.
Yeah.
And I also designed the stem to be the bearing cover also. If you look closely, I have all the lines matched to the bearings.
That is sexy.
It looks
that
good.
Is so sexy.
And I could have had it black, but I wanted to stand out, and I thought it matched my group set a little bit being silver.
Well, and it matches the decal on the down tube as well. From a distance.
It looks good.
Yeah. I like it. We should make that the cover photo for
I bet Austin will send me the picture if I ask him to.
Yeah.
The finish work is not perfect on it.
But 300 versus 2,300.
Yeah.
It's good enough.
That's exactly what I thought. It's good enough. Just give it a second. I'll get to the stem.
Oh,
that's at North Shore.
And then I had it's at Horseshoe. I had a Garmin mount made for it too, to match
off the front.
Yep.
Yeah, that's
turned out good.
That's cool. So what did that process look like from the start to the finish?
How long? I think it took, I did it. I first sent them my drawings when it was Chinese New Year. So they were off for 2 or 3 weeks over there. So I had to wait for all that to go through. And then I think it only took them 10 days to make there's 3 parts: the main body of the stem, the faceplate, and the Garmin mount. It took 10 days.
That's not bad.
And they did the anodizing in different baths, so they're all a little slightly different color.
Slightly off from
But I didn't expect that. I figured they would know.
Yeah.
That was partly my fault.
It's going to change due to sunlight and UV and everything else anyways,
But it is anodized, which is nice.
Yeah.
I mean, is that something where there might be a market with that, where you could produce 100 of them? And
I don't think so.
No, because everybody's going to want a different reach.
That's what I'm assuming.
Different color.
Well, not only that, I'm the only one that wants that stem on that bike, the drop bar TT bike.
Well, and how different is that stem from the stem that was on the bike when you purchased it?
Well, it came with a TT base bar.
So it's
not
integrated?
drop bar.
It's all one piece. I got you. Oh, so it was like a bullhorn kind of setup?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
all right.
It's just full TT bike.
Yeah. Okay.
So a drop bar wasn't an option.
I got you. So it was a necessity. Yeah. I got you now.
Well, you could put a standard stem on it. It just didn't match with the shape of the frame.
Yeah.
And that's another thing. The next frame size up, it's a different shape than that. So it's size specific.
Yeah,
Not only links, but to the
send me
frame.
all those images and movies, and I'm going to figure out a way to incorporate it into the
Yes.
the
If
YouTube
anybody needs
version.
custom design work done, I could help.
Okay.
And I got the contacts in China for like it's not cheap, but
Yeah.
if
What-
I were to make 10 of them, it would have been significantly cheaper.
Sure.
But it's
So
just a one-off.
if somebody's curious, what's the best way to get a hold of you? Email? What?
Yeah, just email austinwhittington@gmail.com.
Okay.
I'm not an expert in CAD, but I know enough to design something specific for you if needed.
That's very cool.
That's cool as hell.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
So you got the bike and then you immediately, like before you even got the bike, did you know, oh, I'm going to have to source a stem?
No, I did not. I just figured I would find something off the market that worked, and then once, because the base bar that is designed around the integrated cockpit is Vision, and they make a bunch of products that are the same shape. So I figured something from them would work.
Yeah.
And I just couldn't find anything that would work.
Yeah.
So I figured
Especially-
I'd take it upon myself to make it.
Especially for internal routing.
Yeah, there
Yeah.
are very few internally routed stems, let alone with the stack low enough for how short that fork was.
Yeah. Yeah.
So is that the first time you've done a project like that, or you done stuff like that before?
That's the first big project I've done, yeah.
Yeah.
I've done a bunch of little stuff, little enclosures and fittings and stuff, but nothing like that. And it hasn't broken yet. I don't have any way to fatigue test it.
Yet.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I love that yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely a concern of mine.
Yeah.
Not having fatigue testing done on it, but it's just myself.
And
Just
maybe
in
ride
CAD?
with the mouthpiece for a few rides.
Yeah, usually cracks propagate before
Yeah.
anything catastrophic happens. So,
Yeah.
and it's aluminum, so there's some bending to it before just cracking.
Yeah.
or breaking.
What was I gonna say? What's the clamping mechanism like? I saw you can still tighten the headset from the
Yeah.
top, right?
No, let
No?
me show you. So I've got 3 bolts. 2, they're all on the bottom.
Oh,
The middle one's a shoulder bolt, which holds.
I was talking about affixing it to the fork, though.
Oh, right.
The steer tube.
Yeah. So I have a triangular shaped hole,
Yeah.
and I put three. Let's see if this video has 3 bolt holes on the back, just because the steer is so short.
And your steer's carbon, I'm sure, huh?
Yes.
Yeah.
So I got 3 bolt holes back there. just
Okay.
Because the steer is so short,
Yeah.
only the 2. It only goes up to that second bolt,
Yeah.
but I just wanted the 3rd one there just for
Yeah. And
symmetry.
what's this slit here for?
So that slit is so the bearings don't compress when I clamp the,
I got you.
the top, because
That
that
makes-
goes over the bearings.
that
Okay.
makes sense.
And that's the only way I could
Yeah.
figure out.
And then you've got a relief behind the tension bolt to
Correct.
take the slack out of the
Yeah,
headset.
so instead of doing like a top cap, I just put a hole in the top
Yeah.
and made it all one piece
It had a recess. Yeah.
and have that
Yeah.
countersunk.
That's slick.
Man, love
So-
it.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
cool as hell.
Rethinking it, I could have done like a wedge system
Yeah.
to clamp and just gotten rid of that slit and the both slits on the back and the bearing cover.
Yeah.
But I didn't think about that at the time.
It still looks slick as hell.
Yeah.
I mean,
It gets the job done.
yeah. And, you could pick it apart, even if you
No,
did a
there-
wedge
yeah,
system
of
and everything, you'd be like, oh, I could have done this.
Yeah.
But I mean, for a first go, I mean, obviously you had multiple iterations, like you said, but for your first stab at it, that's freaking awesome.
Yeah, the 3D printing really is a breakthrough technology. Just being able
Okay.
to have examples the same day.
Yeah. Yeah. That's slick. I like it.
So, what was the total turnaround time from concept to having it delivered to your door?
I had to learn a lot of new stuff in the CAD, so I spent probably 20 hours over a couple weeks designing it, an hour here and there whenever I had time.
But had you reached out to them before that? You're getting pricing while you're doing that, or did you get the design?
No, I
where you wanted
designed it and I printed it, and then I sourced manufacturing after all of my design.
So once you decided
for-
you wanted to go with them, then you said it was almost 10 days
10
to
days.
that
yeah.
point.
I think it was 10 days plus 2 days shipping is all.
2 days shipping.
Yeah, 2 weeks.
Yeah,
from
so-
China.
So all the majority of the time was built in, with you
Development.
designing it and developing it. And then once you had, okay, I'm ready to do this, it was 12, 14 days, 2 weeks.
That's it,
ish.
yeah.
Yeah. That's freaking
Yeah, if I
cool.
were to redesign it, it'd probably be 3 weeks from concept to finished product,
Yeah. That's not bad.
depending on how many revisions need to be made after a 3D print.
Yeah. That's slick.
And that's with China. US would probably be quicker,
Yeah.
but you're paying for it.
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah, the tariffs need to go up to about 500% for it to make sense to
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
for U.S. manufacturer on something like that. Anyways,
But still, they're getting the majority of their aluminum is coming from Canada anyway. So that's got tariffs on it coming into the United States.
yeah,
You know,
tariffs on materials,
just raw materials. Yeah.
and those
so.
bits are coming from China.
Yeah. So it's
Yeah.
all impacted